Guys, it's here. 9-item SGC order just came back. I'm gonna go through each one. I'm sorry this video is long, but I just really want to show these in their glory. They came out looking so nice, so I'm gonna take my time, baby. God, that was so cheesy. This is a really interesting oddball piece. This is a 1976 Playboy. This card is actually used as a marketing tool, I guess, as most cards were, for this book. And a Playboy press advertising this book. So the question was, who's the first National League player to make $100,000? And the answer was Hank Greenberg. And looks like they made like a whole card set. And this graded a 9. I couldn't believe that. I mean, I knew the card was sharp, but damn, a 9. I mean, it's pretty impressive. Pretty happy with this, actually. So, next is one of the two 1943 MP & Co. Cards that I have. There are 2 backs, and I'll do a whole video about back variations, like with my vintage collection, because there are several. But this is a hand cut card, and usually when they are hand cut a little too small, they give them the They give them the A designation. So I just really bought this to have the other back variation. I'm gonna put it sideways so you can actually see. As you can see, this looks nothing at all like Hank Greenberg, and in fact, they used the same image in 1949 for another player. I think it was Harry Danning or Hank Danning. I don't remember his name. But I really just bought the card for the other back variation. So eventually, I'll upgrade this to maybe one that can get a numerical grade. But happy with this for the time being. This was probably the card I was most nervous about, to be honest. This is the 1941 Gaudy, 1935 Gaudy 4-in-1. As you can see, you won't get sharper corners on a 5.5. And I'll show you what brought this down. I mean, this card is just super, super clean. I'm really happy with it, and I was honestly concerned that it was trimmed because of how sharp the corners were. Like, when you see these cards, they are so condition sensitive because they have the full bleed. And there's so much chipping that goes on in that red border. But on the back, what got it was the chipping, I'm guessing, was all there. And I thought because of that, the card had been trimmed. And I bought this raw, of course. But I would have loved a 6, and I would have been like stunned with a 7. But a 5.5, I'm really, really pleased with, given that my other one's a 4. So this is one that I will certainly keep forever. I mean, just look at this card. It does not look like a 5.5. So this is a prime example of buy the card, not the grade. This card looks like a 7. But there you go. Still happy with this grade. I mean, I was really worried that it would come back trimmed, but thankfully it didn't. I love the little cutout they did for this little fucker. Like, look at that. This card is smaller than a stamp. And they custom cut it. 1, that you could see the corners, and 2, that's snug in there. And this was a PSA 9, a cross to a 9. Sorry, focus. Not really much to show here because the card is so little. But these come in 3 different back color variations. They came off of a strip. And this is the orange back, as you can see. There's also green, which is quite rare, and purple, which is not as rare, but exceedingly more rare than the orange back. So still need those 2 back variations. But this card is I wouldn't even call it a card. It's kind of like I guess it's a card. It's just so funny, like, seeing the whole, like, black gasket and the little card in there. This is one of the better cards, probably the best of the submission. This was a PSA 7, and it crosses an SGC 7, and just really happy with this 41 play ball. Just a little nudge on that corner. But overall just displays so well. It's hard to believe that this card is coming up on 90 years old. 80, what? 80 years old. I'm terrible at math. But just a really clean image. This is just dust on the case here. But really happy with this. Stupidly, I actually didn't give them a minimum grade, so this could have come back, lower, like a 6.5 or a 6 if they really deemed it. But I'm really happy that it crossed a 7. From now on, I'm really gonna protect my higher grade cards if I'm crossing them. The next 4 are all these larger. They're putting the tall boys. This is hand cut from a Wheaties panel, 1940 Weenies Champs of the USA. He was on here. Oh, there we go. I knew that was going to happen. He was on here with, I don't remember who else. I have the other one on another strip, but which I'm probably going to sell because I just like the way these display a little bit better, and I like how they custom cut these again. You know, I mean, the SGC just does a really good job. When this was in the PSA slab, this was all, loose in the gasket and could have, been damaged. I mean, it's only a 1.5, so the only reason because of that is this paper loss in the back. But SGC just does a really good job with presentation value and framing this in a way that it can't be damaged again. They custom cut these, and it's really just, they're really such an asset to the hobby because, without that, like the things that are graded in our slabs can be damaged just by living in them, and with these, there's just not much opportunity for that. Every third-party grader has their flaws, of course. I'm not saying the SGC is blameless in anything, but I'm just saying that they do it better. This is the 1941 version, and it comes with that cool bio. This was a 2. I think this was the one that I bought raw. Oh no, maybe this wasn't. I can't remember now. Oh no, this was the one with the mark. That was the one I bought raw. This was the one that was in the PSA 2. But it was just floating around in there. I brought it actually at the National. That was the only thing I actually took home with me. This next one is a really, really exciting grade to get back, although the grade is low. I certainly understand why. This is the 1934 Detroit Tiger team issue, also known as the Annis Furs. This is a true rookie issue. They were issued in 2 sets of between 10 and 12 cards. That's still up for debate. But this one presents so well. It's centered really, really beautifully. And it's like postcard size. The corners used to be sharp at one point. But now they are a little more round. Usually you'll see these that don't have this, like the 3 stripes up there on the top. They'll be trimmed off. But when I did my video of this, I was so excited to get it because I just hadn't seen one up for auction in so long. And so I felt like if I didn't get this card and I'd take the opportunity to get it, I may never have. So there are some like loose spots here and some paper loss there, which kept it down significantly. But I mean, the front of this card, you can't get a better front. And I think that if that glue wasn't there, it probably could have been a 3 or a 4. But I'm certainly not complaining. I think just the opportunity to actually own this card is is one that I certainly couldn't pass up. And it's definitely one of the most beautiful images that I could say that has ever been displayed on a Hank Greenberg baseball card. The next one, or the last one really, is a cool postcard that I had done. I just think it will display a lot better here, and they, again, custom cut that. This is the 1935 Greenfields Detroit Tigers champion when they won the World Series this year. And on the back, it's so cool. They wrote the whole thing, and I just love when these are used. Postmarked in 1939, so this postcard was bought, like 4 years prior to when this was actually mailed, which I thought is pretty interesting. And you can actually find these on eBay, but in unused condition, they are asking for like $600. And I think just for it to be used, I think tells a better story. I don't care if someone hasn't used the postcard. I don't collect postcards, but I just think, it adds to the history and the story behind this piece. I just think it's so cool. There are some other Detroit Tigers postcards from around this time that I have paid more attention to of late since I acquired this one, and will certainly be making a stronger effort to grab those. But I submitted these in the beginning of October, and today is the 29th? So it took almost 2 months to get to me. SGC is super backed up, and it's something that these companies are going to have to work on to deliver on the promises. I paid for 20-day service, 20 business day service, which would have been a month, and was closer to 50. So, or maybe a little less. So, something certainly that they're going to have to, definitely not 50. It's probably like closer to 40. But something that they're going to have to work on. And, I could do this maybe in a separate video, but unrelated issues, what's coming out on the Net 54 forums about these fake T206 autographs. It's so unbelievably startling and also fascinating in a way, and so interesting to read, that all these autographs could have slipped past the JSAs, the PSAs, the SGCs, and authenticated. So, I think the fact that, this is a topic for another discussion, but I'll leave you with this. It's alarming to know that companies can't distinguish between an autograph that was signed a year ago and one that was signed maybe 50 years ago. And it's just a sad realization that people are out to make a buck on us. So we have to remain vigilant and have to remain aware of what we are buying and what we are researching to rid the hobby once again of these crooks. And guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this is bordering on 14 minutes, but I thought it was worth it to really go through these and show you. Guys, thank you so much again for watching. Not sure what my next video will be, but when something new comes, I'll show you. Bye.